What's up, mi gente? Welcome back to Coqui Tactical. Today, we're going to be going over my helmet setup. Before we get into that, I just wanted to say continue to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification so you get notified videos. And please share the channel with a friend so we can keep growing it. Enough about that. So we're going to be talking about the way I set up my helmet today. Before I kind of bring you guys down and kind of show you everything I got, we'll talk about how I set it all up. I do want to kind of get something out of the way, and it's that, big debate, bump helmet or ballistic helmet. This is a bump helmet, just so you guys know. It's a Team Wendy bump helmet, so it's a high-end bump helmet. I think the best bump helmets are Team Wendy and OpsCore. It's a great bang for the buck. I'm going to get this right out of the way. For under $400, you get an amazing helmet, amazing suspension system. The pads are awesome. It fits all the boxes for a great, buy. I'm not a big guy into getting like a cheap Amazon bump helmet. I feel like if you're going to get a bump helmet and you're going to be adding night vision, lights, good ear pro, spend the money on a decent bump helmet. Enough about that. Now, the bump helmet versus ballistic, and I'm going to be quick on this. I'm not going to go into it. I'm just going to say they both have their purposes. I'm not on the job. I'm not on an everyday SWAT team, so I'm not kicking indoors anymore. I'm not on the RDF team anymore. I did have a ballistic helmet at the time. They issued us OpsCore. I'm not doing that for a living anymore, so I don't need to use my ballistic helmet right now. Do I feel it has its place? Absolutely. Protects your head from shrapnel, handgun, ammo. They even have rifle rated now. I'm not going to get into the deformation and what happens if you, take one to the noggin. I'm just saying they have their place. But if you want to get into training, have a night, set up, have something for your night vision to be able to put your ear pro, lights, and maybe you are on a budget. That $1,000 swing, right? Because a good ballistic helmet, like a Team Wendy XL 3.0 ballistic helmet, it's going to be $1,000 more, right? It's going to be about $1,400. So $1,000, that $1,000 could go into a high quality mount, a high quality light, your ear pro. So that's what I'm saying. And at no time down the road can you get a ballistic helmet and just swap everything on. You're good to go, and you'll have a bump and ballistic helmet. So that's where I'm at with it. I need my night vision to train. I want to have my light. I set this up exactly how I set up my ballistic helmet. But one, it's a little lighter. I don't need the ballistic helmet for, when I'm training, night training, whether I'm going for a ruck, etc. I'm on the purpose that if, I was to take, God forbid, knock on wood, a round to the head, it's going to be what it is. But I'm a bump helmet fan. So that's what I'm saying. But they both have the purpose as ballistic as well. If you have the money for it, dale, go all out, get your ballistic helmet, get a OpsCore SF. They're like $3,000. Dale, do it. YOLO. But I'm just saying, they both have their purpose, so I'm going to get that out of the way. So I'm going to bring you guys down here so you guys can kind of see my setup. I'll talk about all the parts, everything that I went through, because helmets could be a little tricky when you're setting them up. Nothing ever, I'm going to tell you this, nothing ever fits perfectly. You're always going to order something and be like, I needed this, or oh, I have to add that, or this doesn't work that well, or hey, I got the Chinese version, I should have got the USA, like the US made version, the better version. So there's always something, and it is a big investment when you're talking about it. Just sitting here, just roughly in my head with the bump helmet, 1,000, 1,500. It's over easily, probably over $2,000 worth of stuff, and it's more on the the products that are on it, right? The everything that goes with it. The bump helmet was only 400 of that, so do the math, the mount. So I'm going to go through everything, but it's an investment. So I'm going to show you how I set mine up, and if you have any questions from there, hit me up in the comments. But at least I'll show you how I set this up, why I chose what. So let me bring you down here so you just get a little better view and can see everything clearly, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. I'm just arms and hands. So this is my helmet. I went through it. This is the Team Wendy LTP bump helmet with the 3.0 rails. So the newer rails, you could probably still find some older ones with 2.0 rails, but the 3.0 rails are nice. They give you more room to mount with a Picatinny style, mounting. And like I said, it's a very high quality bump helmet. The suspension system in these helmets has the BOA system here on the back that you just click, and a lot of really good padding, if you see in there. So it's very, very comfortable, and it protects your head at the same time, right? It's a bump helmet. So if you fall down and bump your head, you're good. Hit your head, you're good, etc. So it serves its purpose. So I'm kind of just going to go around and talk about what I have. So, like I said, Team Wendy bump helmet in Coyote Brown. They come in two sizes. I believe a 1 and a 2. One's like a small medium, and the 2 is like a larger size. I fall into a medium. If you go on the website, they talk about how that fitment is. But when you're talking about helmets, and I've worn different ones, just really, look for a good helmet because you're wearing it. It's on your head, and it gives you fatigue in your neck. So you want a good padding and suspension system, which Team Wendy absolutely has. It also comes with a Wilcox shroud here. Let me just take this mount out so I could show you guys. 1 second. There you go. So it comes with an aluminum Wilcox mount stock, which is nice because some bump helmets don't. They'll just come with a plastic kind of shroud, and the better shroud to connect your mount, the tighter fit, the tighter the tolerances. You're not going to have any wobble in your night vision when you get it. Another quick note is you don't have to get a helmet and have night vision right away. I started with this helmet to have some ear pro, train with. I would put my GoPro on the front. I would run a light on the front when I was, hiking at night or doing some like low light stuff, white light stuff. So you can get into a helmet and, kind of take your time and getting the parts that you need till you build up and you're ready to purchase night vision, which we all know is a big, big investment, expensive. But anyway, like I said, it comes with the Wilcox mount, the helmet cover. Helmet covers are good to put on. One, they cover your helmet, but they also just give you Velcro areas to attach. If you want to attach patches, if you want to attach identifiers, if you want to attach counterweights and, protect the helmet and also break it up from just being Coyote Brown. This is an Agilite helmet cover for the Team Wendy. Fits it really well. Ranger green, of course. And Agilite makes, good stuff like this, like their helmet cover. Some of their packs are really good. So gives you Velcro up here as well. So, to mount different, strobes and whatnot. So Agilite helmet cover on this in Ranger green, of course. I'll go with the mount because that's what I took off. So the mount that I'm using is the new Nocturne Alpha mount, guys, that you see right here. I have it in the Force to Overcome option, or, and kind of setup. When it comes with a push button style. So push to open and close. You have two options. That's pretty cool that Nocturne Industries gave the customer the option. I did a short on how to take it out. It's very easy. You just remove a screw here. You just kind of move your tilt wheel out of the way. This is the tilt wheel to tilt your night vision up and down. Move that out of the way so you can get to this little screw right here. You put an Allen key, loosen it, take the screw out. Then you're going to kind of open the arm up and kind of, just shift it out of the way. And there's going to be two screws back here that have ball bearings. If you take a 1/16 Allen key back there, but you kind of need to, shift this out of the way. Once you have that screw out, the mount will swivel in there. Release the tension of the ball bearings. The ball bearings are here. That's what gives it the tension to open and close. And once you release the tension, that arm could come out. And then you're going to take the push button out and a spring. That's all you need to do. You're going to put the arm back in, line it up, tighten those tension on the ball bearings. And then you're going to reinstall your black screw, install it in, tighten it down. And now you're in the Force to Overcome. Or you can leave it with the push button, depending what you like. I just like to, open and close my night vision when I'm stowing it up and down. I don't like looking for a button and having to press a button. If you see what's coming out, it's just a little, they give you rubber shims right here. I also did a short on that. The rubber shims just help in mounting your shroud. Without them, there'll be a little play and you mount it. So, I'll show you real quick. Let me just take the shims out for you. Now, there's different mounts on the market, and I'll talk about that now while I take these shims out. There's the Wilcox, which is like the was like the staple of, really good mounts. Wilcox makes, obviously, their mil spec. They make really good mounts. That's what the Shroud is. They make the Wilcox G24 and G24 Lite. Those were like the staples. Now, there is a budget-friendly version of that Wilcox, which is the Argus mount. It's like the imitation. It is Chinesium, but I heard they're very, hot, like very well made. And those are like a third of the price because a Wilcox G24 mount is just as expensive as this Alpha mount. They're about $500 for the mount. So they're expensive, but again, it's holding your night vision. So what's going to set these apart from cheaper ones, which I don't suggest getting like a cheap mount off of Amazon, is the movement, the tolerances, right? This is super tight. I have, sliding up and down for my night vision to go, in and out for my eyes. You're also going to have a slider on the base for how high you want your night vision to sit. Once I put on the helmet, I'll show you. So you have your tilt here. And this is a very, very high tolerance mount. Nocturne just came out with this recently, and it's amazing mount. I believe it's better than the G24. One, it's lighter, and the tolerances are tighter. But as I was saying, is when you go to mount it in your Shroud, it just mounts in just like this. Just clips in, you put it in. You hear that little bit of play there? Sounds like a lot probably on camera, but it's just a little bit of play. What these shims will do is, and they supply it, comes in the bag. You just put one there. You put one in here. And one in here. Now, when you put your mount in, there is no play at all. I mean, it's on there, and that's how you want it. You don't want any play in your night vision, and that's what the mount looks like. Closed. What I was saying, when you open it, that's how the force to overcome. Here's your slider. You have tons of clicks to slide your night vision out and in, right? This is your tilt wheel. This tilts your night vision this way. And you also have this slider right here on the base that brings your, sorry, it's hard to do with, brings your night vision up and down. So this gives you every option to set that night vision exactly how you want it to be when your night vision is deployed down, whether you want it your eyes sitting just a little bit over it so you could look kind of down. It's all personal preference on that. But this mount is amazing from Nocturne Industries, the new Alpha mount. Like I said, it's going to be in that $450 to $500 range. I got mine from Custom Night Vision. I got a lot of my stuff. They run deals, especially if you're doing like a package with night vision and everything, which I did. So this mount, I got it for a good amount off with them. So check out Custom Night Vision. But this is definitely a mount to get. It comes in black and FDE, the new Nocturne Alpha mount, guys. Check it out. It's very, very nice. You can't go wrong with the Wilcox either. And also, guys, if you're looking for a budget option, check out the Argus. I have no experience with it, but I heard it's a really good mount. And there's another one too, like the Rhino mount. There's other mounts, but really, right now, the hottest on the market are going to be the Nocturne Alpha mount and the Wilcox G24 Lite, which is like the newer version. Moving over, let's just go to this side. This is just a little Princeton Tech task light. Has green and two and a low and a high, just for map reading, just to keep a low, not a any light signature, kind of very low. Just if you're doing like a small task, like I just said, like you just need a little light to map reading, etc. Just Velcros out on the side. They do give you, when you buy this Princeton Tech, it comes with different mounts, so you can mount it on a rail if you want to. I like it nice and tight to my helmet. I don't like things really sticking out the side there. So this is part of the Velcro with the helmet cover. It goes right on. Has a little flex arm, which you could flex it any way you want. And it's not enough to like really light up like umbrella a room, which I'll talk about why I have this light here. But like I said, it's enough for just a little task light. It's a small task light. So that's a Princeton Tech there. That guy was not much. It was probably about $45, $50. It's just a small light. Moving over to my main light here. This is the Surefire Vampire, Vampire head with the SNX axe mount. So that mount allows you to fully articulate your light and go, so now you can umbrella a room, right? And it also has the admin 100 concepts light. So it gives you like a pinhole here. So if you're lighting it up, if you see how it lights up there, you don't want full white light. You just want to kind of light up a room and use this as a task light. A little more, obviously more than your Princeton Tech. Now you have a task light if you want to read map in white light. The head turns, so you have IR and you just turn the head. You have your IR, you have your white light, and you have off. So if you need white light and you need to really you're doing tax, you need white light to really shine, you would just flip your cap on your 100 concepts open. You're going to have your light there and you're going to have a full white light, about, I believe it's 300 or more lumens with the vampire head. And then you have your IR illuminator. So when you're under night vision, if you really need to light something up, you have your IR as well. And then you cover it, like I said, if you're just doing task, and if you want to keep it off, you could go to your off setting and it'll be off. Like that's the off setting there. What I really like about it is the articulating arm, this AXC SNS mount, because it really brings it close to the helmet, and now you really have play for it. Like I said, if you want all the way up, you want to shine all the way down, you could go full 360 articulation with this head, with this mount. Yes, it's pricey, this whole setup with cap and everything. I got it from Custom Night Vision, so I saved some money as well. But if you go like on, let's say, I believe it's Spirited Systems site, it's almost $500 for this setup. So it's pricey, but it is the best on the market when it comes to lights, guys. This thing with the vampire head IR. Now there is budget options. Before I, saved the money for this, I had a Inforce WMLX with an IR setting, so it had white light, and it just looked like an Inforce. I had it mounted on this guy. If you see this is by Theorem, and I'll show you this real quick just to show you there is a other option. So it's got a Velcro kind of backing, so you would stick it, and it's going to be close to your helmet. And now you mount your light on the Picatinny, right? You could run a Surefire on this, right, as well, if you don't want to spend the money on the Axe mount, the SNS mount. Any light that mounts on Picatinny, and then you have your movement on it. You have you could go fully up, so you can umbrella a room. So it gives you 360 as well. It's not as secure as this. It's Velcroed on, and it had a little wobble, which is why I didn't like it. But it was my start, and it wasn't that expensive. This mount was probably $30, and the Inforce light was maybe $100 and something. So for under $200, I had IR illuminator, right, and I had my my light. But once I upgraded to this guy, I was a lot, this is what I wanted. This is like the setup to have. This is what I had when I was on the job, so I wanted back my kind of setup. So the Surefire light there comes with a clicky cap. Like when you get the whole kit, clicky cap, you're gonna get your 18 like 350 body and your KME one head, which is like the vampire head, which is IR white light and off settings. And then this is extra, the 100 concepts cap. I just did some Reese wrap to add Ranger green to break up the black. I wanted this in coyote brown, but they were sold out of it, so I just got black and wrapped it with the kit that Reese Wraps makes, which is pretty cool. You could add Ranger green to it and still have like a little black there, and it kind of breaks it up. It's kind of cool. Moving forward, this is when helmets get, a good price of it is your ear pro and the way you're going to mount them to your helmet. So there is OpsCore arms, which are like these that mount towards the back, or there's like the Peltor arms, like the Unity marks that mount here to the side. With those, that's an option too, but I like mounting like this, like the OpsCore way, and I'll talk about what arms these are, because you could stow your ear pro on the back here, like bunny ear style like this, and they're out of the way. They're not just hanging off on the side. which I hated. I had that set up before, so this is much better. But I didn't want to spend the money on OpsCore amp arms and OpsCore Ear Pro with comms. Like those are about $1,000 just for the Ear Pro. Now these aren't cheap. These are sorted mil specs with a comm, but it's a jack, a 3.5 jack that I added this boom mic, and I'll talk about that as well. So these are Sordins with noise barrier arms. Now, I believe the noise barrier arms are the best on the market. They have them for Peltor. You could get them for OpsCore. The thing with the OpsCore arms, and I've used them before, is they tend to pop off sometimes, especially when you go to rotate, right? You're going to now use your Ear Pro, so you're going to bring them out and rotate them. They would pop out. I used my buddy's helmet a lot, and he had them, and they would always pop out. These are super secure. These are made by the Auto Noise Fighters, but to make them work with Peltors or Sordin, you need an adapter kit. So if you go to Gibeus Outfitters, he sells everything. He's going to sell the arm here, and you could get whether you're mounting on Team Wendy, OpsCore, right, etc., and the mounts to retrofit Sordins. It takes a little bit of some customization because these Sordins had a headband for your head. So you got to cut the headband. You have to make sure you don't cut the wire. Then you have to run your wire through your helmet, which you have to with any other Ear Pro. And just make sure when you're running it, you test these because you want to make sure that when you drop your Ear Pro, the wires aren't getting tangled and pinched up. So it's a lot when you're kind of doing Ear Pro. I've always used Sordins and really, really like them. So again, these are the Sordin mil spec without the comms, because with the the boom mic, they're about $800. These were $400, and I just went to Defense Distributors and got their boom mic adapter. So it's a mic on a little, flexible arm here, and a 3.5 jack goes right into your Ear Pro. And then you're going to see your cable here to hook up to your PTT. So if you go on this Defense Distributors website, they tell you exactly what you need for Sordins, or if you have walkers, or you could set up walkers like this as well. So there's options. What I really would suggest is a good set of arms, and these noise barrier arms are the best. Check out Gibeus Outfitters. He sells everything you need to adapt Sordins. These are Sordins with gel cups. Like I said, they were Coyote Brown, but I also used the Reese wrap covers to make them Ranger Green. And then you get a little Velcro tab and stick on your boom mic on here. I could take this mic off if I wanted to, but it's on there pretty secure with the Velcro. And that's how I run comms. Like I said, if I was still in a team setting for work, I would use Peltors with comms, like comms 5s or whatever. But I'm not. I'm just either, training with my local team or guys that I train with. And this is good enough. Still high quality arms, high quality Ear Pro, but, saved a little money because I didn't need, to spend $1,000 on that. But that's how you set them up. If you I did a video on these if you want to know. But if you go on Gibeus Outfitters and you have Sordins, like you have a set of Sordin headphone Ear Pro and you want to use them for your helmet, you absolutely can. You just have to, cut the headphone, the head piece off, and then you keep these kind of barrels. And then these it gives, Gibeus Outfitters gives you everything you need, the brackets for that, then the brackets to make the Ear Pro work. And just to show you, they're super, when these auto arms, you just unclick them and you just bring them around, and now when you click them in, they give you the suction. And again, they're super reactive. You could bring them out, like if you want to kind of give your ear a rest and still hear what's going out, ambient noise, you pop these out, but they're not like flopping everywhere. And then when you want to stow them, you just bring them up just like that and just lock them into place here just like that, and they're locked in and they stow nice. The other thing, what I like about the way these stow opposed to the amp arms, is when you would stow your amp arms like this, it would crush your gel cups. Like your gel cups would be all deformed. These put pressure on them. Like you can't really pop them out, but it's not tons of pressure. So these are very, very, it's a very good setup. So that's the Ear Pro, and you could get them in, I believe, Coyote Brown. I got them in Ranger Green for the arms. The Gibeus Outfitters kit, just because I'm talking about prices, that's about $200, all said and done, with everything you need, all the hardware to retrofit Swordens or Pelletors. You're going to get the arms, and just make sure you say what helmet it's for, whether it's a 3.0 Team Wendy rail or an Ops Core rail, etc. Let's go to the back where I have a counterweight, which is this guy right here. You only need a counterweight, guys, if you are running, night vision, because what happens is with the weight, right, you have your ear pro back here, right, so it's going to be a little offset anyway, but now, you have a mount and you have night vision here. An unbalanced helmet is going to really give you neck fatigue. It's going to give you headaches, especially when you're wearing this for a while. If you never wore a helmet, you're going to realize quickly, like, it'll be uncomfortable. It's not going to be, right if you're running and on the move, if you don't have a well-balanced helmet. So balancing out is very, very, is a very good thing. Now, with my night vision, I don't run a battery pack. I could, but no need. I get tons of runtime with a CR123. But this is a battery pack holder from Coyote Tactical. It's called the Enchilada. It's not super big. It velcros to the back of your helmet, and then it gives you some shot cord here, so you could shot cord it to the side of your helmet just for extra retention. Has a little tab here to open up, and that's where you would put in your battery pack if you wanted. I have this battery holder from Hero Tactical, just 3D printed, has some shot cord to close the cap. And what's cool about that is in there, I keep the batteries I need for the stuff I'm rolling with. So I have two 18650 batteries for like my weapon light on my weapon system. And then I have three CR123s that also for my light on my helmet and for my night vision. And it gives you a good weight, like a battery pack. And you could still add some lead counterweight if you need to still weigh this. And it just fits perfectly in this enchilada right in. And put the flap over. Got my tactical Puerto Rican tactical patch there, of course. And then they also give you some tabs here to add more CR123s, or you could put some, counterweights. I wouldn't, because it'll be showing, and you kind of, you don't want like that color showing. But if you want to put some batteries there, you can. And then it also gives you a little one wrap roll here to roll up your cable and hold it. So this is all the cables for my headset when I'm plugging into my PTT. So when I'm not using it, stow it away nice on the back of the helmet, and everything's nice and secure, not all over the place, right? You don't want cables everywhere and snag hazards. So it just works out perfectly. It's a nice little one. They also make I think it's the Anaconda, or don't quote me on the name, Coyote Tactical, which is like the enchilada, but it also has like a front board with Velcro, with shot cord. Like if you need to add more, more stuff to your helmet, and maybe you don't have Velcro up here, they make two versions of this. This is kind of like the most minimal version. But if you're running a helmet, don't have night vision yet, just want to run batteries, you could get like AXL makes a little battery now. It just Velcros to the back and just holds battery. I had one somewhere around here. I don't know where I put it. I'd show you guys, but I kind of had that before I started, running with night vision. So that's by Coyote Tactical. Wasn't expensive. This guy was like $35 from them. So it comes in colors as well: multicam, coyote brown, all that good stuff. What else we got? And got my little Gray Fighter gear patch there on the Velcro. And then this is just my strobe light. This is a simple night core. This was about $35. I'm not running a Mantis or, like a crazy strobe, because I'm not jumping out of planes. I'm not doing helo work. I'm not on the job anymore where I really need a big strobe. I'm not spending $250 to $300. If I was working every day, I would. I just feel like that money could be well placed elsewhere. I would have done like a Unity Spark is $18. You stick those on. This gives me like visible green. I have IR. I have strobe. If I need to be on the range, need to be visible. If I don't need to be visible, it's not too big. Like it doesn't imprint too big, and it just kind of slides out of this mount to charge. Super small. Has a little Velcro mount, and I just ran a shot cord kind of through the hooks here that Agilite's helmet cover gave me, just to double up and hold this down just in case, it was to come off the Velcro. And then it just goes right on there, clicks in, and it's on there. And it's not too big. I actually wish it was even more low profile. I could have done like a Unity Spark. Like I said, they're $18, and after they die, you just kind of throw them away. But this is a rechargeable unit, so I do like it. Push button, so easy to kind of just find the button on the top. And if you know the modes, it's like double click for, I believe it is blue, red, green, and IR strobe. And that's it, guys. That's pretty much the helmet setup that I have going on. My patch there says Boricua, of course. I had to. Oh, I'll talk right. I missed the suspension system. Not the suspension, but the lanyard system here. This is by Jawless Hog Tactical. I kind of retrofitted it into where the stock lanyard was. So when you get a helmet, it comes with a lanyard to click on your night vision here. So it's just a safety. God forbid this mount comes off. Your lanyard has tension, catches your night vision, and your night vision doesn't fall on the floor. I just knotted these and put it into the rail. I like these because it had an easier clip system than the stock clips, on the Team Wendy helmet. Those were hard. They didn't really go on easy at all, especially to the night vision. These have like the click style closures. So I just keep them on each other here in the front because I'm not rolling with night vision right now. But when I have my night vision on, I unclick these and click them onto my night vision, my binos, so that way they're secure in the helmet. They kind of also stopped a little bit of the wobble just from the binos itself or your night vision, not from the mount because the mount is really stable, but it also gives you that if you're running, you're not going to get kind of that side to side wobble because you're getting even pressure from that. There's a lot of lanyard systems on the market. This was just a simple one. I just needed, I keep it simple with that. There's other lanyards that have a lot of stuff going on, but like I said, I just keep it simple. But that's it, guys. Show you the mount, Force to Overcome there. All right, close it up. Nocturne Alpha mount, the SNS mount for the Vamp Surefire head with clicky cap, and the admin light cover from 100 Concepts, sword-ins with the Gibeus Outfitters arms, Enchilada from Coyote Tactical for my counterweight. And it's a very balanced helmet, guys. I still might need to add a little more weight just to the back because I am running binos and I feel like it's a little off. I'm still playing with that. But that's it. The Princeton Tech task light. And I still have rail space if I ever need to put something on the side. So that's it, guys. That's my helmet setup. Just wanted to do a video kind of showing you what I have. And everybody sets their stuff differently. Like I said, I always like to stow the boom mic kind of out of the way here. But everybody sets up their stuff a little differently. So you're going to see variations of that. So, when it comes to this, you really have to just know and kind of know your budget. First see if you want a ballistic or a bump helmet, and then choose the parts that you need. Like if you really, don't need a light like this, you could go with just a rail mounted light. If you're just looking for like white light, you don't need an illuminator and all that, or a task light, and put some more money towards the mount. If you don't want to get very expensive ear pro, you could do it like I did, get sword-ins or walkers. They do make these arms for walkers, so you have options there. But that's it, guys. That's my helmet setup. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll link a lot of the companies in the description so you guys could see, especially like the Gibeus Outfitters, custom night vision for everything else. And that's it, guys. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what your helmet setup is, and I will see you on the next one. Be safe, mi gente. Dale.